The term Whitney's Way is the campaign, if you will, slogan that we come up with, is that we have a firefighter captain with our department named Paul Nelson, who his daughter Whitney was identified to have a seizure disorder.
It's an immune-mediated seizure condition when her immune system would ramp up to fight a cold or ramp up to fight an infection, that she would seize more, and they attributed it to an antibody they found at the Mayo Clinic called GAD65.
I was overwhelmed with everything going on because I was so confused. I was only 11. I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know even what to do. Waking up in the hospital after seizures, I don't know what's going on. He's just like, you just had a seizure.
There's things that trigger those seizures. You know, stress could bring on a seizure, exercise could bring on a seizure. But she walks around all the time wondering if it was going to happen or not. She lives in fear, if you will. Fear to go to school because you might have a seizure and appear or feel stupid. Or, fear to go to the mall, fear to hang out at a movie, fear to go anywhere without your mom and dad, that something could happen to you. So it's kind of, it's got a chokehold on her.
Like, I needed to fill my pill box, and I had no idea how to do that. That was always my mom.
Unfortunately, about 2 years ago, Paul's wife Lisa, who was diagnosed with cancer, and Lisa was that care provider for Whitney.
She just passed away on March 3rd of this year, and she just went through just tremendous battle trying to beat that disease. In January, Lisa went to the Denver Bronco Ravens game, and it just cracked us all up because she was already on a walker at home. I can remember her just kind of fighting with her brothers a little bit, like, I'm going to the game, and they're like, oh no, you're not. Yeah, well, I am going to the game, and well, it's going to be cold, Lisa, you don't want to go to that. And they said, she had basically told them, it's my ticket, I'll see you there.
She went through the battle very, very gallantly, went through that battle. And a matter of fact, in August of 2012, they really thought she got over the hump. But the cancer had come back with a vengeance, and we had lost Lisa not that long ago.
They finally were straight up with us and just said, we think your wife's fighting a losing battle. And that's when we transferred Lisa to Collier Hospice behind Lutheran for a few days, and then ultimately she was brought home. And for 11 days, our family provided her hospice care.
Since my seizures, me and my mom have been best friends. And when she died, I lost my mom and my best friend at the same time.
So we got together and went to some of our community partners like the Broomfield Rotary, the Chamber, and said, you know what, we want to do something to help this girl have some level of independence. So Whitney's Way campaign really is about giving a young girl a way for independence in her life. And the way that is through a service dog. There's different groups that provide, through a lot of training, those dogs to people that have seizures that can support them and can, do different things like bark, possibly other types of notifications that can be done, as well as just a support mechanism to people with these types of seizures to help them live a life that is more independent.
To me, it's priceless. It's going to give Whitney a shot at being independent. It's going to give Whitney a shot at leaving the home with some sort of a comfort level. It's going to give her a shot at going to college. I can have the assurance that, if something were to happen, that she should be taken care of. Because it's my understanding that these dogs can even warn her that the seizure is going to happen ahead of time and get her to a safe place or get her sitting down. And, I believe there's ways that the dog, can make people around her that aware that it's going on, and then I could get notified. So now, even with Lisa being gone, there's times where I get up to do work in the den, and I'm wondering what's going on with her. Is she okay? Is she okay? I'm always constantly getting up, opening the door, checking on her, making sure she's breathing, making sure she's not in an active seizure. But to have that dog in that bedroom with her at our home, it's going to be a reassurance to me that there's somebody in addition to me that's going to watch over Whitney.
Every month, the Broomfield has their after-hour event where networking takes place. The community of businesses can come together. And on May 15th, from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. at Century Chevrolet off 120th, is when we're going to have the grand prize drawing for the new Camaro. I mean, in a way, it's a remembrance of Lisa and a new start for Whitney. So really, again, the Chamber has partnered with us to do that.
It is the Whitney's Way raffle, so the final night is here where we're going to give out all of the raffle prizes to the various winners who've purchased tickets over the past several months in order to raise the funds to get Whitney her service dog.
A lot of our inspiration has come from Paul and what he's been through and how he's worked through a lot of stuff. His leadership into the fire department, we always knew he was special, but when these types of things in life happens, it really separates people.
In December, my parents were talking one night, and they were really excited, but they wouldn't tell me why. They told me you will find out in about 6 months. In February, Tim Halen and Chris Willoughby came to my house right before my mom died and told me what was happening. They told me that I was getting a seizure dog, and I didn't even know they made seizure dogs. I felt so blessed that people were trying to make a difference in my life. So I want to say thank you to these awesome firefighters. The Brimfield Rotary, Century Chevrolet, and the Omni Hotel, and my daddy. I also want to thank all of you guys here, people who bought tickets, for making this a reality. Thank you so much for finding a way to change my life.
I refer that to our people a lot in the fire department as we see the good and the bad and the ugly. And certainly Captain Nelson, through a 17-year career, has seen a lot of that and has been on that service end of providing to the community. And the one thing that really struck me is when this was happening is how the community has reached back into us and seeing a difficult circumstance and have kind of turned back to say, hey, what can we do? What can we do to support? Because, you know, this person represents you as an organization, you know, represents part of our community that has stepped out through his career and seen the good, the bad, and the ugly.
I'm absolutely blown away by the fact that colleagues at my work would take the initiative to try to do this for my family and try to do this for my kiddo. I think they knew we were going through a hard time, and then they wanted to help, and they targeted Whitney, and they said, we want to give that kid some independence. And I think it's the first time in my lifetime, personally, that I really have an understanding of what community is all about.
And the uniqueness of Broomfield is, even though it's a thriving, dynamic city with all the stuff that goes along with that, that fabric that is woven into Broomfield of kind of that hometown, that, hey, the neighbor has an issue, a problem, what can we do to help?
All the firefighters are so great. I love them all. I feel overwhelmed. I didn't know that they were going to do this for me until like a month ago, and I don't know exactly why they're doing it for me. I don't think I deserve it, but I feel really blessed to have all those people help.
And I think it resonates with everybody in our organization because, you know, there's a lot of talk about fire departments being family, but it's true. I mean, when you live with people the way we do and we see the things the way that we see things, and that good, bad, and the ugly, when there's someone within our own group that's hurt, there is that tendency, that service tendency to step out and to help.
The help we're receiving to get through it is amazing. You know, I lost my wife, I've got my kiddo that's got a seizure difficulty, but I feel propped up by these people, by everybody, by North Metro, by Broomfield, by North Glen.
We have that slogan at North Metro, excellence through each individual act, and that represents itself in a lot of different ways. And the one thing I can say too is everyone in this department knows that if something bad comes upon them, we're going to be there because that's just what we do.
I think there's a lot of blessings in all this and a lot of lessons learned, and I'm just grateful for what's happening.